Boom. What is good? What is happening, everyone? It is your boy, Ferris Muthana, and welcome to another special edition of the Open Table. We have been away for a minute, and it broke our hearts. And today, we mend them. And the person we're mending hearts with, always and forever. It's my homie, Adelia. Adelia, how are you?
I'm doing very good, Ferris. The past few days have not been very good for me. I had a really horrible migraine for a couple of days. So I'm feeling much better today, and so I'm really excited to get to do the show.
I am excited as well. Today, we're talking about a long-awaited music episode. Me and Adelia will be comparing and contrasting our music taste throughout the years and how it flows. We may seem similars. We may see non-similars. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. But before that, Adelia.
Ferris.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers to you. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm doing all right. Like I said, I've had a pretty rough couple of days, but I'm rebounding. And today's gone really well. I'm excited. It's December. We're in the final month of the year. Time to start thinking about end of year things and the holidays. And there was a lot of planning of stuff in my household today for the holiday season. So it's nice. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm doing well. It's coming down to my fall semester in college. I think I've made the decision. I'm going to be coming back for the spring.
Okay.
I'm thinking of graduating in the fall, but I think I'm maybe coming back for the spring because I've heard some stuff. You know, our radio class is doing some great things, so I want to be a part of that. You know, shout out to my main man Lyle. He was talking to me, and I'm maybe coming back. I may be coming back because of him. Maybe getting my journalism degree. I mean, my journalism degree. I need 2 classes, so probably that as well. And you know what? Then I'm waiting back to hear back from a very important internship.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm having fun. Next week on Tuesday, our teachers are going striking. So there's that. So
Our teachers are going on strike.
Yeah, my teachers are going on strike, and I support that. I'm a union man myself. Shout out to Frank Sabatka. The reason I'm a union man, that's my dog. You know, that's the man who taught me everything about the unions.
Nice.
Shout out to Frank. So yeah, so I'm gonna be out there. You know, I may roll up with some water packs, some orange slices. You know, acting like a team mom. You know what I mean?
Like it's halftime at a soccer game.
Yeah, man, it's halftime. I got because we got a Trader Joe's nearby, right? It's like about like 5 minutes. Roll up to Trader Joe's, get like 3 packs of water, you know, and then like 3 packs of oranges, tangerines, them little mandarins. Be like, hey y'all, clementines. Roll up on the teachers, picketing. I need to know where they picketing though. Like, I heard they're picketing near the streets, or I heard they're picketing near the parking lot. So if they're about the parking lot, which is pretty cool, cause that's a easy way to get from Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
So there's that. So yeah.
We got D Weezy in the chat. Shout out to D Weezy saying unions can have some downsides, but having that support when facing off with ownership is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I think the downside. I think the benefits outweigh the downsides. My own personal stuff.
I agree. I work over at the website Passion Fruit, where we covered the actors strike and writers strike this summer, and basically hot labor summer is what it was. And I'm every time a union goes on strike and I hear the reasons why the union's gone on strike, no matter what union it is, I generally side with the union because, man, employers got to treat their employees right. It's just what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Anything else?
We're here tonight to talk about some music.
Yes, we are.
We have, I think, safe to say, not knowing each other's answers really, to our 5 prompts on this topic, that we have very different tastes in music.
I think you're correct.
I think we grew up on different music. I think we listen to different music now. I mean, D-Weezy says we standing on business.
We standing on business. You damn right we standing on business.
Okay.
It's a phrase that means I'm gonna stand in my truth and I'm gonna back what I say.
That makes sense.
Yes.
But we got some music to talk about, Ferris.
Yes. So guys, the 5 categories that me and Adelia did. I'm gonna break it down to everybody. All right. Category number 1 is an artist we listened to growing up. All right. Category number 2, one of our current go-to artists. Artist number 3. Category number 3. I have no idea who this artist is. Someone that we are pretty sure that the other artist does not know who they are at all.
The other person.
Yes. Yeah. And then the 4th category is, wait, you own an album by who? That's another category. I have a couple vinyls. So does Adelia. Probably some CDs. I don't own any CDs. I used to. And then
books of CDs.
Yeah. And then our last category are the wild cards. We picked a couple of songs. I think about 5. I added a couple more to the 5 that I put because I realized I didn't have this group in, but this is one of my favorite groups of all time growing up. So about 5 songs of just music that we love listening to. I went more of I picked most of the songs off of my on repeat on my Spotify. So I picked a lot of that. So a lot of the songs here.
We need to talk about Spotify Wrapped as well in the middle.
No, I can't do that, unfortunately.
Why?
Because I'm guest starring on my friend's radio show next week. And I promised them I'll reveal my rap on air.
Okay, that's fine. We can talk about my Spotify rap.
We'll talk about your Spotify rap. Absolutely. Okay. But guys, I hope everyone's having a wonderful time. We're about to get into this. So Adelia.
Yes.
An artist we listened to growing up. The song you chose is In My Life. Is it the Beatles?
Yep. It's the Beatles.
Why the Beatles? What makes the Beatles like touch your soul, make you sing, make you dance, make you happy?
The Beatles song that I chose is In My Life, and let me put it in the chat here. I first heard this song when the Beatles anthology miniseries came out on ABC.
Adelia, make sure to tag it as Adelia.
Well, I didn't.
Okay, well, I got you.
But the Beatles anthology came on ABC, and I'd heard of the Beatles, but I had never consciously listened to a song knowing it was the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents, were big Beatles fans, so they wanted to watch the miniseries, and there was one TV in our house. So I sat there and watched the miniseries with them, and I was enthralled. Also, randomly, we were drag racers. Amateur drag racers.
Yes.
My dad and my sister and my dad's best friend. We traveled around doing amateur drag racing. There was a show on the NHRA, which is like the NASCAR of drag racing. It's the governing body. So they had a show called NHRA Today, and the head starter of the races was retiring. His name was Buster. And they set a montage of Buster in NHRA to the Beatles song In My Life. And just something about it just clicked with me. And between the Beatles anthology and learning more and listening to all of their catalog of work from the 8 years of recording that they did, I just fell in love with music for the first time, really. I listened to music, but nothing ever connected with me until I listened to the Beatles. They're my favorite band of all time. They're my favorite artist of all time, still to this day. I can put on a playlist of Beatles music and just get in a better mood, and so that's why I chose them for my artist I listened to growing up.
Nice, wonderful. I've never been a big Beatles fan myself.
Yeah.
I personally growing up, I just, don't hate me. I never got the hype. You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
don't hate you. I totally understand it.
Yeah, I just didn't, I think, I just didn't really be like, I was like, yeah, it's cool, A lot of those bands and like I just didn't, just like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not hyperbole when I say listening to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album for the first time changed my life when it comes to loving music.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I totally understand if it's not for you. Like people are like, I like the Stones better than the Beatles. Fine, that's great. Music is subjective, just the same way movies and TV are subjective.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, not everybody is gonna like everything. So
Also, too, Adelia, so I'm in the radio class, where like I told you,
yeah.
Music, audio is the only medium that actually enters the body.
True.
It physically affects us. Physically affects us. So the Beatles, they entered your body, and the Beatles music physically affected you in a way.
Yes.
It made you happier. It changed a little bit of the chemistry. It affected us. It affects us every single day. Because I remember watching this video, right, of someone was shooting a stream of water, just like a little stream of water was continuous, right? And they start playing music or just sounds to the water, and the water was going straight, right? And they played the music, and the water was like,
yeah,
it's like just flowing, just manipulating, like bouncing, and all that.
Moving to the music.
It was moving to the music. So imagine if music doing that to water, what it does when it enters your ear canal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's amazing. It's amazing. It's the only medium. You watch a movie, you're watching the movie, right? And you're watching it. It doesn't go into your eyes. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You read a book. The book doesn't enter your, it doesn't enter your eyes. It doesn't enter your brain. It doesn't. It's just the book right there. But when you put your headphones in, you put them in your ear, they go in, they rattle in the canal, and they go deep. Wait, yes, Weezy, food, yes, food, yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if you can, yes, food can be art.
Food is definitely art.
Yes, food, yeah, just don't give me that dumb art where it's like, here is a little slab of steak on top of a small glab of gravy. Like, no, give me the whole steak and a side of gravy and some mashed potatoes. Don't give me them little small portions. I don't like that fine dining stuff that you go and you get like a little carrot. What is this? It's not food. I shouldn't be paying $3,000 for a carrot slice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that rant. We're talking music.
Yeah.
We're talking music.
We have seen your art. Yeah.
Yes. I have seen Derek's art. It's been pretty good. It's pretty good. He got some good smoke. He smokes it. Some good tacos.
Jose.
Shout out to my main man, Jose. All right. Adelia, you have a question for me, I think?
Yeah. We just went through my artist I listened to growing up. What is your artist that you listened to growing up?
So growing up, the one artist that I was having trouble with this question, Adelia. Because growing up, I went through a phase of like, I listened to a lot of Motown here and there. But then there's always one artist that always kept popping back into my mind. It always kept dragging me back in. Yeah. And that was Tribe Called Quest. It was a rap group in the early 90s.
I've heard of them.
Yes. And they have I believe they have three classic albums, I believe. That's my own opinion. Own opinion. Y'all may not believe it. It is what it is. But my opinion is they have three classic albums. Everyone knows Low End Theory, and then the sequel to Low End Theory, Midnight Marauders. But actually the first album they ever did, People's Instinctive Travels in the Paths of Rhythm. That's their very first album. I'm a big fan of that album. Lucky Lucian, Left My Wallet in El Segundo. Big fan of Can I Kick It? Bonita Applebum. But then there's also remixes of Bonita Applebum and Can I Kick It? There's a J. Cole remix of Can I Kick It? We'll talk about J. Cole a little bit later, as well as the Bonita Applebum mix, which has the Can I Kick It? I think it's a little Pharrell mix into there. Big fan of it. There's Mr. Muhammad. Shout out to Ali Shaheed Muhammad, who was their DJ. There's that song. And it was just a great album, right? But then you get into Low End Theory. You got Bugging Out. You got excursions. Where's my sky pager? Do you know what a sky pager? You know, shout out to Sky Pager. But there's one song that is above the rest. It is A Tribe Called Quest featuring. I don't know. Oh, damn, what's the Leaders of the New School, which
Leaders of the New School, okay.
famously gave us Busta Rhymes. It was Scenario. What's up? What's up?
It in the chat?
Scenario? Yes, can you? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yes, Beats, Rhymes, and Life was a great album as well. People forget about that. Very underrated. You know, Bo knows this, Bo knows that, but Bo no Jack, because Bo can't rap, which you know, I can't rap it because we gotta keep it under a minute so we don't get struck down.
I think it's more like 10 seconds.
Quest. Tribe Called Quest. That was my song growing up. I played it on the loop because what is the scenario? The scenario can be anything. The scenario could be getting money. The scenario could be, you know, raising up some women. The scenario could be just chilling through life. We just got to find the scenario. My own personal opinion.
Nice. I've heard of A Tribe Called Quest. I've probably heard A Tribe Called Quest songs played on the radio before, back when, you know, people listened to the radio. But still do I know, but a lot of people don't. I cannot name one though. I mean, I would not know that it was a Tribe Called Quest song if I heard it.
Yeah, so they were part of a collective called the Native Tongues Group. It was them, the Jungle Boys, and I believe Black Star and Queen Latifah. It was them. And then Common was on the outskirts. And I think they also added De La Soul here and there, because De La Soul did show up on certain records, and they showed up on certain records with De La Soul here and there. I know True Go the Dove showed up on a war tour, and Q-Tip then did show up on other stuff. But my thing is, it was a lot of boom bap early on, right? For New York rap, right? It was like in the Bronx, it was you know, the jazz breaks, you know, the soul breaks. It was a lot of sampling of James Brown. But they were like, let's use jazz and funk and other things to sample and mix it and match it. And it was a jazzy feel to their records. You know what I mean? They didn't use a lot of funk records. They made, you know, it was very smooth. They could be talking about some heinous stuff, but it would be so smooth as they rapped it. It was pretty awesome. Thank you for bringing up Radio Adelia, because I got to tell you a story.
Okay.
Thursday, which was yesterday, we took a tour of the iHeartRadio station in San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
Like their main hub. And we took a tour with my radio teacher. We saw where she works, because she works for iHeart. She does traffic for a lot of shows. So we work for iHeart. So there's this big station in the Bay, right? It's called KMEL. It's what, you know, it's what gave us Sway Calloway. I don't know Sway. Everyone knows Sway. You know, Kanye said
from MTV.
Yeah, it was, you know, the famous "You don't got the answer, Sway." That's Sway. He's a Bay Area legend, radio legend. It was KMEL. So growing up, I grew up on KMEL, right? That was my group. So I would hop from Wild 94.9 to 99 to 99.7 to KMEL 106.1, right? So I would hop back and forth. Funny thing about KMEL growing up is every time I would switch to KMEL, I would never hear anybody. It was always music. So I always missed the shows, right? I always missed the shows because I would always hop in during the music. Like during the music, I never got the talk breaks. You know, but on Wild 94.9, I always heard the show, the morning show. Shout out to JB, God rest your soul. So KMEL, right? So one of their well, she wasn't just like any other jockey. She was like the music director. She also has a show on KMEL. It's like she wore a lot of hats. Her name was Shay. Shout out to you, Shay. She allowed us in the radio booth with her. She was on the air. And she actually allowed some of us to get on the air. You know what I mean? So a couple of my classmates got on the air. It was pretty cool. I sat in the corner because Adelia, I was shell shocked.
Yeah.
I was in the KMEL studio. 14-year-old Ferris would be like, yo.
Yeah.
Yo. And I'm just like sitting there in the corner, just like, why am I here?
You were in awe.
I was in awe. Someone said, hey, Ferris, you want to get on? I was just like, yeah. But it was too late. My brain.
Ferris was like, I'm not sure I could formulate a sentence, but sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be. I was out my mind, yo. I was out my mind. I'm like, yo, if 14-year-old Ferris saw me, he was like, bro, why'd you get on the air, Ferris? I was like, no, I should have gotten on the air, man. I should have gone on the air.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was amazing. It was
Nice.
amazing, Adelia. It was amazing. You know,
That's
and
really
you know,
cool, Ferris.
yeah. You know, and like, you know, people say radio's dying, man. It ain't dying, man. It ain't dying, man.
I don't think radio's dying. I just think that like traditional radio stations, people don't listen to as much as they used to.
Yeah, man. So like during Shay's show, she had a DJ do a live mix. So he was mixing live, and it was dope. It was dope, man. It was dope.
Yeah.
Shout out to my teacher, Elaine. Elaine, shout out to you. Wonderful person.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So Adelia, our next category, Adelia, is we're going forward now. We're going to the present time. You know, one of our current go-to artists. Who do you like listen to as of this moment?
All right. I just have to say it. I'm a Swiftie. I was not the biggest Taylor Swift fan until my sister said, hey, come see this Taylor Swift concert with me. And we went to the Reputation tour in 2019 in Denver. And she's phenomenal live. So I went with Taylor Swift as my current go-to artist. She just put out 1989 Taylor's version, which is great. I've listened to it so many times since it came out. This is not something that I'm necessarily like proud of. I don't like any of her country music songs. That's for sure.
So you're a pop Swiftie.
I'm a pop Swiftie. Yeah. Like she has a few good ones from her early albums, but like most of that stuff, I'm like, I can't listen to this. I just can't.
I think she realized she wanted to be a global superstar, so she went pop.
Yeah, she did.
It's a business decision.
It's a business decision, and I think it's great. She really is into empowering women, and I agree with her on a lot of other stances that she takes. I think that her use of her personal life to fuel her music can be very interesting at times, but it turns into some really good music. She's got a lot of bops, as Video Drew once said to me, and that's great. But I like a lot of her like deep cut tracks more than I like some of the bops. So the song that I'm gonna put in the chat is from her Evermore album. It's Taylor Swift with Haim, who is a band of sisters, and it's called No Body, No Crime.
So it's Haim?
Haim.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to my boy Max in the chat. It's my boy Max Schmeling. Shout out to you, my boy. That's my boy right there. That's my ginger. That's my homie.
Let's answer his question, Ferris. Are you
I am not a Swiftie per se.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy some of her songs. You know, I'm a big fan of Wildest Dreams after her 1989 album.
That's a good one.
I've never listened to the Taylor version yet. You know what's crazy about?
I will say this about the 1989 Taylor's version. I can't tell too much of a difference on some of the songs. They sound very much the same. On some of her other Taylor's versions, they sound very different. Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that, Adelia? I've always, so like, it all started because Scooter Braun bought her masters, right? He bought her masters.
Screwed over.
Yeah. Yeah. So she got screwed over in business, really. And you know what? Scooter Braun, it was a good decision to keep those because, she makes a lot of money. But she was smart because she's like, you know what? This is how I know you're a businessman and don't know fan bases. I'm going to tell everyone to not listen to them and listen to these new versions.
Listen to the old ones. Listen to the new ones.
And and she is She's a
genius.
She's a genius business wise. So Scooter Braun wasted so much money on masters that will never be played ever because people have agreed. Radio stations have agreed
To just
that
play
we will
the
only
Taylor's
play
version.
your versions.
Yeah.
So Scooter Braun,
I saw an article on Deadline or something the other day about how record companies are debating instituting a rule that you have to wait like a certain length of time before you can re-record your previous material. If you're not, doing it for the record company anymore.
Yeah.
Because she's not with Big Machine Records anymore. Because that was part of the whole Scooter Braun stuff. So she's like got this army of women. I saw a tweet this afternoon that was very funny. About a guy, just saying like, are you making?
Shout out to my brother Dre. How you doing, brother?
Hey there, Dre. Why are you making being a Taylor Swift fan your whole personality? And I don't think anybody should do that, by the way. I don't think being a fan of anybody should be your whole personality. But he followed it up with, but if the Lions lose this weekend, I'm going to jump off a bridge, which I thought was very funny in way of saying men do this too. It's just women are being criticized for it. I think
that's the joke, right? And people I think a lot of NFL, a lot of sports fans, right? Like who are self-aware, who say there's a lot of people who be like, oh, why are these Taylor Swift fans so like enamored with Taylor Swift? Like, why are they so happy? Like, why are they crying? What's wrong with them? I'm like, brother, I have seen you cry at a Chiefs Raiders game.
At sports, yeah.
At sports. Me, when I see a Taylor Swift fan is crying in the audience after this emotional performance, you know what I think of?
What?
Me crying when the Giants won the Super Bowl in 2011.
Yeah.
And you know what? If the Knicks ever win an NBA championship, it's going to be worse than that Taylor Swift fan. It's going to be worse.
It's going to be worse.
It's going to be worse, man.
When the Denver Nuggets won the championship this past season, and when the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup the season before that, there were a lot of tears.
That's what I'm saying, man. See, a lot of sports fans, when people were making fun of Swifties, a lot of sports fans were like, yeah, we do that too. We can't really say much,
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Like my entire day is ruined when the Giants play on Sunday. If they play early on in the day, my day is ruined. I remember once, Adelia, Arsenal played at like 9, I think. And Arsenal won. They won. And I tweeted out, yay, man. I just watched my world football team whoop some ass. Now I'm going to go watch my American football team get their ass whooped. It was the week they faced the Dolphins. And the Dolphins, man. And they got beat down by the Dolphins. I think Arsenal won like 2-1 or like 2-0. Wait, was that the Man City game? I don't know.
I don't know. But let me tell you about my weekend when we were in Tucson. Was Arsenal drew Tottenham in the North London derby.
That ruined my flight, Adelia.
That was before my flight. And then during my flight was the Dolphins putting 70 up on the Broncos.
Ooh.
So that was not a good day.
No. That day, the Giants didn't play on Sunday. They played on Monday. So the Giants couldn't ruin my day that day. But Arsenal did. Arsenal ruined that day.
Yeah.
Draw?
But
really, Jorginho? Really, Jorginho?
Let's not rehash that right now.
Okay.
First, we're talking about music.
All right.
Let's move on from Taylor Swift, who's just somebody I've listened to a lot lately.
Taylor Swift.
And talk about somebody that you go to right now as somebody you listen to a lot.
So I picked this song because it's his most popular stream song. I think it's over like 1 billion. It's No Role Models by J. Cole, but there's a couple of other songs that I listen to about him. I'm a big fan of his Born Sinner album. Born Sinner with James Fauntleroy. That's pretty good. She Knows, Chaining Day, Forbidden Fruit are pretty good. And then off of the No Role Models album, which is 2014 Forest Hills Drive, there's apparently January 28th, Wet Dreams. There's Saint Tropez. I'm a big fan of that album. A lot of those songs on that album were long, Adelia. they were long tracks, you know, and I'm used to long tracks because growing up, you know, with I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. Growing up with the Tribe Called Quest, I also listened to a lot of Motown records and a lot of old records where they would be like, you about to listen to an 8-minute song, you about to listen to a 7-minute song, where you're like, where like 2 to 3 minutes of the song, it's just a funky beat, and you're like, yeah, man, come on, son, yeah, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? You know, like, you know, so like I expect that. So like, Note to Self, I believe is like 14 minutes. Yeah. Off of that album, you know. So I'm a big fan of that album. Firing Squad, he goes after folks. He be throwing shots. And with J. Cole, the thing with this is some of his greatest projects that some of the fans prefer over some of the album releases with the companies, you know, are his mixtapes. The first mixtape was it's not the warm up. It is the warm up. It's the warm up, and there's another mixtape he did. Oh damn! I don't remember off the top of my head. I have it. Do I have it on my YouTube? I think I do.
All right. Well, while you're looking at that, I will just say that I don't think I've ever knowingly heard a J. Cole song in my life. This is just not the type of music I turn on, especially now that I don't like. If I have heard it, it's been a song played on the radio while I'm driving somewhere. Because I don't generally seek this type of music out.
Truly Yours.
Okay, Truly Yours.
Truly Yours, yeah.
These are mixtapes.
These are mixtapes, yeah. These are they're not album releases, you know. So Friday Night Lights, that's the other, not the warm up. It's Friday Night Lights. That's the first mixtape he ever did, and some of those tracks are really damn good. They're damn good. Yeah, and you know, so he started off doing mixtapes. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of him. He does a lot of collabs. He hops on a lot of records. He's doing what Lil Wayne did. Lil Wayne back in the day when he would release an album, then we'd hop on another track with another artist. And he would do that with them. And he would have like a good verse or like a great verse. Or you would remember that song because of the Wayne verse. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. I quite enjoyed it as well.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Shall we move on to the next category?
Let's flow to the next one, Adelia. So, guys, this is the category. I have no idea who that artist is. There's an artist that me and Adelia listen to that we know for a fact that the other doesn't know.
Yeah.
So, Adelia, break me down. Who is Angus and Julia Stone?
Okay, Angus and Julia Stone. I'm not sure how many people in America have heard of Angus and Julia Stone, but they're an Australian brother and sister duo. They do like folk and indie pop music. It's mellow, it's calming. I've been listening to them since about 2006 when I discovered them randomly listening to an Australian radio station through the internet. And I love their style. I love their music. I'm putting a song in the chat from them called Hollywood, which is one of my favorites. They are my go-to listen when my anxiety is really high and I need to mellow out, because all their stuff is mellow. It's not there's not, you know, massive guitars or drums or anything on these songs. They're just this is my kind of music, this mellow indie pop kind of vibe. I like that they're a brother and sister. They each take turns singing on different tracks. It's a lot of good stuff, in my opinion.
All right.
So, Ferris, who is the person that I've never heard of that you listen to?
Well, his name, shout out to Bay Area rapper Larry June. He's from here. He moved to Atlanta when he was in his teens, and then he came back here. He's from San Francisco. One of my favorite tracks of his is Smoothies in 1991. He makes music for grown-ups who just want to chill and stay out the way. You know what I mean?
Nice.
None of that harsh rap music, none of that, that bang bang rap music. It's always smooth. Samples are pretty nice. This song is sampling "Wishing on a Star" by Rose Royce. You know, Rose Royce did the soundtrack to Car Wash. You know, the famous song "Walking at the Car Wash."
I know that song.
Yeah,
yes.
they did that. They did song. So they took the beat from "I'm Wishing on a Star" and he flipped it into Smoothies in 91. Y'all, he did drop a new album a couple of weeks ago called The Night Shift with him and Cardo. Y'all may have seen me tweet out new Larry June album just dropped. Let's get the orange juice. Because, you know, he's big on orange juice. Like we all should be. Because orange juice is awesome. Love me some orange.
Orange juice is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you would like him, Adelia.
Okay.
It's very smooth rap music.
I'll listen to this track later.
Yeah. Also, too, he has an album, a co-album. He does a lot of co-albums. You know, a lot of he you know, like there's this beat maker, producer named The Alchemist. You know, very famous. He did an entire album with him called The Great Escape. So yeah, there's that. He you know, he's a Bay Area rapper. They release albums very quick, very rapid fire. You know, I know E40 got like 20 albums already are out, or like 25. You know, I think, you know, Too Short got like 15, 20 out. You know, Bay Area rappers, they chug out those albums, you know. And I think he got like, he's been in the game for like only 10 years, and I think he already got like 15 albums or something like that. I've lost count, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I will listen to that track later because you have me interested in him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. He already got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. He got 24 albums.
Good Lord.
In 13 years.
That's a lot. That's
and like, I'm not talking about like, I'm not talking about like, it's like forced, not like albums are at least like 8 to 10 tracks. You know what I mean?
So they're not EPs, they're actual LPs, albums.
Yeah, they're LPs. Yeah, man. Wow. They you know, they're like, I think
William Harold says he's been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes.
Yeah. William Harold knows. That's one of the things he said.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that.
There's that.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
All right, Adelia. Now we're getting down to, I think this is one of my favorite category. When you recommend this, I was like, yo, I dig that, Adelia. It is, guys. You own an album by who?
Yeah.
So Adelia.
Yeah.
What album is Kickstart My Heart?
Okay, so this is a slight story here. I was living by myself for the first time. I was bored. I had a library card. I went to the library, and for some reason, the book I checked out was The Dirt by Motley Crue.
Okay.
And it's their autobiography, and that shit was wild. There are things in that book that I literally can't believe that I read and that they actually did, and maybe it was embellished, I don't know, but like I can believe it with all the shit that's in that book. So I'd never really listened to Motley Crue music prior to reading that book, but after that I was like, okay, I have to give their music a try. Now, Motley Crue is a hair metal band, very different to the type of music that I like to listen to. But I do own Motley Crue album with, I don't remember the name of the album, but it has Kickstart My Heart on it. So my pick is Kickstart My Heart because I own a Motley Crue album. Ferris, what do you think about that?
I know Motley Crue. Never listened to them. I know nothing about them. Are they one of those hair metal bands?
Yes.
Ah, the hair metal bands.
Kickstart My Heart, Girls, 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 Smoking in the Boys' Room. They had a lot of hits. They did a lot of wild shit. There's a movie about them on Netflix, like an autobiographical drama kind of movie about them called The Dirt. That's decent.
Is it like The Doors?
It kind of, but yeah.
Better?
Nikki
Worse?
Sixx. I don't know. I haven't seen the Doors in a long time. Nikki Sixx is like, I believe, the bassist. He's either the lead guitarist or the bassist, and he's crazy. They've just got so many wild stories about that band, and the music it's not bad. But I don't think anybody would have expected me, knowing my musical taste, to own a Motley Crue album.
Yeah, I'm a little thrown off because I thought Kickstart My Heart was like some pop record.
Nope. It's not.
A rock record,
it's hair metal. Yeah, it's hair metal.
Yeah. All right.
Ferris, tell me what Candy Girl is.
All right. Candy Girl is the first hit song by the greatest boy band of all time.
Who is?
New Edition, baby.
New Edition.
Candy Girl, you rock my world. You look so sweet. So I can't. I gotta stop right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's Candy Girl. It's off of their. I actually have it right. Give me a moment.
Okay, well, Ferris is doing that. Thank you, everyone who has joined us here tonight. Thank you to those in the chat. How are we all feeling tonight? Having a good night. William Harold's here. Mr. Galloway. Max is here. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Ferris has in his hands what looks like a vinyl record. New Edition Candy Girl on vinyl.
Yes, I have it right here. It's so side one has Give Me Your Love. She Gives Me a Bang. Is this the end? Oh, this the end is very good. Pass the Beat. Their other great track off of this album is Popcorn Love. But the track that everyone loves is Candy Girl. And shout out to my main man, Ralph Tresvant, who is a Taurus, sang lead on this album. Yeah. And here's the back. They actually show everyone's astrological sign. So apparently me and Rob DeVoe. Rob DeVoe. No, his name is Robert, but they called him Ronnie. So Ronnie DeVoe, he's a Scorpio. Shout out to Michael Bivens, he's a Leo. Ricardo Bell, which is Ricky Bell, he's a Virgo. And everyone knows Bobby Brown, the Aquarius. So I bought this. There's actually a record store up the street from my corner store in Berkeley. I rolled up there and I said, "Hey man, is that the New Edition Candy Girl? Give me that." Because I had just watched the New Edition story on BET. And it was a great biopic. I quite enjoyed it. And I think when people talk about boy bands, Adelia, right? They always talk about those whack, I want it that way, and ain't no strings on me. Or,
I want it that way. I tweeted out a GIF from I Want It That Way today because that was the first concert I ever went to. It was a Backstreet Boys concert when I was 16. Yeah, and
they also the bye puppet string, whatever their name is, them.
NSYNC.
Talk about NSYNC, them, and then they always talk about 98 Degrees with Nick Lachey.
No one talks about 98 Degrees.
All right, except Ferris. Ferris talks about 98 Degrees.
They talk about Nick Lachey. No one talks about 98 Degrees.
All right, don't disrespect 98 Degrees. All right, you calm down.
I owned a 98 Degrees album back in the day. I'm not disrespecting them. I'm just saying when boy bands come up, very rarely will you hear anyone bring up 98 Degrees.
Yeah, so I made a joke last night where we were in the radio station. We were in the radio station for so iHeart has a lot of radio stations in the building together because they're transmitting. The Beastie Boys are not a boy band, so watch yourself, William. They're a rap group. All right. So, but New Edition is the greatest boy band of all time.
I've heard some New Edition songs. They're very good.
Yeah. I believe their album. The thing is with boy bands, Adelia. The thing that always gets boy bands is the transition. And when I mean the transition, I mean the transition from, oh, look at those boy band to look at those young men. You know what I mean? So they were a boy band from, Candy Girl. Then they had the New Edition album, which had Telephone Man, Cool It Now, all that stuff. And then they did an album called All For Your Love. You know.
Okay.
So there's that. You know, the famous story was there's an album on the transition, right? They did a cover album called Under the Blue Moon, which they like re-sang a lot of songs. And then the album that made them icons, because you know Candy Girl, New Edition, that's cool, but the album that solidified them as like these are icons, it was Heartbreak. It was the transition from look at the cute little boy band, they're talking about Candy Girl, Popcorn Love, that's so cute, to Heartbreak, which has songs, If It Isn't Love, You're Not My Kind of Girl, and then the great song Can You Stand the Rain, as well as Boys to Men, which is the song that Boys to Men is named after.
Yeah.
So there's that.
DWZ in the chat bringing up Boys to Men. They were definitely big boy band back in the day.
Yes, and I think the Boys to Men, Adelia, have 3 of the longest running #1 hits of all time.
Mm-hmm.
They were involved in all 3 of them. First one was End of the Road. No, the first one was I'll Make Love to You.
Excellent.
Then the second one, the song that beat I'll Make Love to You was their song End of the Road for the movie Boomerang.
End of the Road. Fabulous song.
Yeah. Then they beat that record by having a song with Mariah Carey called One Sweet Day.
Also an excellent song.
The one common denominator, all 3 songs, Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. They were very good. I owned many Boys to Men albums back in the day.
Fun fact of Boys to Men, they were in the live rendition of Grease on Fox.
You would know that.
They played the Angels, who sang Beauty School Dropout to Carly Rae Jepsen's Frenchie.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And another fun fact about that is the old waitress that consoles Carly Rae Jepsen's Frenchie was Frenchie from the original Grease.
Dee
Dee.
Nice.
All right. I just wanted to say that. So shout out to
Ferris gets in a mention of Grease. If you have that on your bingo card or whatever, drink.
Yeah, drink a swig, a big old swig. All right. So yeah, they are the greatest boy band of all time. I will not debate with nobody. If you want to debate somebody, go debate your mother on what consists of good rice. But Boys to Men, greatest boy bands of all time. I mean, no, New Edition, greatest boy band of all time. Because here's the thing too, Adelia, when you think of boy bands, right, you think of singing prowess, right? Mm-hmm. Right? But then you also think of dancing, right? Right?
Not all boy bands dance.
No.
Do you know what? 98 Degrees is not memorable?
They didn't dance.
They didn't dance.
So they're not a boy band, all right? Boy bands got to dance, all right? If you're a boy band who don't dance, you're not a boy band. Like that's why that's why One Direction, not a boy band. They didn't dance, all right? You didn't dance, all right? So get out of my face.
They kind of did a little.
And they danced like they were like wet chickens in a rubber contest. They didn't
dance the way the boy bands back in the 90s.
Because they couldn't dance, Adelia. They couldn't dance. None of them could dance. None of them could.
I mean, that's probably true.
None of them could. Zero. None of them.
Probably very true.
Does Harry Styles dance?
No.
Exactly, because he can't dance. Zayn Malik can't dance. I've seen what's his face try to dance.
How many members of One Direction can you name, Ferris?
All of them. Name them all.
Then do it.
All right. Zayn Malik, Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, and the guy who cheated on Cheryl. What's his name?
Liam Payne.
Liam Payne. That guy don't know how to dance. That guy tried to act like he had street cred, making that weird music he did after he broke up the band. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Don't get out of here. All right. Go make some folk music. All right, you weirdo. All right, get out of here.
Niall did. Niall's music is pretty good.
Now makes Irish folk music. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Niall. Shall we get to our wild card picks, Ferris?
Yes, the wild card picks. All right, but again.
Ferris, I have no idea what you just said. I can't hear you.
Hello?
You sound like you're underwater.
What the hell?
Okay, now it's better.
Okay, sorry. I
don't know what happened there.
Yeah. So see them dance. New Edition dancing. Synchronous, smooth, dope. Shout out to Brooke Payne. Brooke Payne was their dance coach, who was Ronnie Bell's uncle. So shout out to New Edition. All right,
nice.
Wild card picks, guys. So the wild card picks was kind of a little wacky. Kind of threw a bunch of songs out there, right? You know, me, I kind of threw a bunch of the songs I had on my on repeat playlist on Spotify, because that playlist really is Ferris to a degree, because that playlist is pure nonsense. You don't know what you're gonna listen to. You know what I mean? So there's that. But Adelia, you have a bunch of records as well that kind of show a full picture of who Adelia is. So take me through those records.
Okay. I picked 5 songs that are kind of on my on repeat playlist right now. Not on the actual on repeat playlist, but ones that I listen to a lot. This first one is Glass Animals. It's a song called Heat Waves. You may have heard this on TikTok at some point. If you're big on TikTok, because it went viral not that long ago. It's Glass Animals are this like psychedelic pop indie band from Oxfordshire in England. This song has the record at 91 weeks, the longest charting song on the Hot 100 of all time for Billboard. So this is also like the song that was like the anthem for the Colorado Avalanche in their Stanley Cup winning year in 2022. So Glass Animals, Heat Waves. This next one I've been listening to on repeat since 2020, I believe that's when it came out. It's IOK, featuring Nightly. It's called Sleepless Nights. If you used to hang out in Ben Goddard's Twitch stream when he was doing the requests, I requested this often. It's one of my favorite songs now, and are
they the same genre?
This is not the same genre. This is also an indie pop song, but I wouldn't call it psychedelic pop the way that Glass Animals is.
Okay.
Next,
psychedelic pop. What is psychedelic pop, Adelia?
They're just more experimental than just a traditional pop song.
Like a I
mean, that's more Beatles psychedelic experimentation than it is.
Oh, at least I picked something up from them, weirdos.
They were not the best people, all of them, but they made fantastic music.
No, except Ringo.
Ringo's great. I love Paul and George too, but John.
Yeah, there's a famous goes like, yo, if anyone ever tells you that Ringo's their favorite Beatle, they're a cop.
That's funny.
I guess I'm a cop because I'm a big fan of Ringo.
You should. That doesn't mean you're a cop.
I know.
I know. The third song I'm recommending is Snow Ghost. It's called The Hunted. It's the Apocalypse version. I believe it's called the Apocalypse version because this was used in X-Men Apocalypse, but I love the song.
Oh.
It's more of a rock song, but it's not really a rock song. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's
I try to forget the movie Apocalypse.
Don't try to forget that movie. I try to forget Dark Phoenix.
I've never seen Dark Phoenix, so I ain't gotta forget it.
You're lucky. This next one I'm recommending.
I gotta rewatch Apocalypse.
Apocalypse is not great, but it's not horrid the way that Dark Phoenix is.
I remember so Sophie Turner, Jennifer Lawrence, McAvoy, Fassbender, and Jessica Chastain all went on the Graham Norton show. No. Was Jennifer Lawrence there? No, I don't think Jennifer Lawrence was there. So it was Chastain, McAvoy, Bender, Fassbender, and Sophie Turner were there, and you could just see that they hated this movie.
Yeah,
they just did not like these movies.
It is bad,
and you could see that. So Sophie Turner's, you know how like they sit on the red couch, right?
Your mic's weirding out again.
Oh, hello. about now?
That's better.
They're trying to take me out, Adelia. They want me. They don't want me to tell the truth. All right. So when I was watching the clips, right, there was a massive gap between Michael Fassbender and Sophie Turner, but the gaps between him and McAvoy and Jessica Chastain didn't exist. So they all grouped up together and like there's like a giant gap, and then like Sophie Turner.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I don't think Dark Phoenix is Sophie Turner's fault.
no, I don't think it's her fault either. I don't think it's her fault either. But I think something happened.
There might have been some tension there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the music. My next song is from 2002.
Ooh.
It's I first heard it when watching Queer as Folk back in the day.
What?
It's Sneaker Pimps, Loretta Young Silks. It's a really good song. Everybody should listen to it. What do you mean, what?
You said full of lesbians or like queer what?
Queer as Folk, the Showtime series.
Queer's folk?
Queer as Folk. It was an American adaptation of a British series that starred Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam, like Sons of Anarchy. Charlie Hunnam.
Yes.
Well, hold up, isn't that Generation Q?
No.
No, Generation L.
No.
So there's a show on Showtime called Generation L, and like the L stands for lesbian.
Yeah, there was another show on Showtime that was something. It wasn't a spin-off of Queer as Folk, I don't think, but it followed Queer as Folk called The L Word, and then now I think it's sort of carried on into Generation L or whatever. I haven't watched it because I don't have Showtime, but back in the day, I used to watch Queer as Folk, and there was a song in the third season in a kind of pivotal scene that was kind of enjoyable to me, called Sneaker Pimps. It's the band Sneaker Pimps. The song's called Loretta Young Silks. It's a good song. It's made its way back into my rotation lately, so it's on this list. And then my last song is The Neighborhood. It's a song called Daddy Issues, and I just really like it. So those are my 5.
I get a lot of my music a day. I'm not gonna lie to you, on like Twitter or like TV shows, right? Because I remember it was the beginning of Lucifer, the show Lucifer, and the first scene, they're playing Cage the Elephant, No Rest for the Wicked.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, y'all love this song. So I used to Shazam stuff because Shazam used to go automatically to Spotify, but now that Shazam was bought by Apple, the Shazams go to Apple. Yeah. So now I do Google.
Shazam. I still use Shazam, even though it goes straight to Apple because it'll at least tell me the name of the song, and then I can go look it up on Spotify.
Yeah. Well, I do Google now. I just clip the Google and be like, hey Google, what's this song? And then Google listens to it.
Oh.
See?
You have to teach me how to do that because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, see, Google just popped up. Yeah, so there's that.
Yes, but anyways, those are the 5 songs I picked from my wildcard picks. They're in heavy rotation on my playlist at the moment. I enjoy all of them.
Yeah. So now, guys,
what are the songs you picked?
Let's take you to the wild and wacky world of Ferris's music taste. All right, my first song coming up is Burna Boy City Boys. It's an Afrobeat song. I've over the past year and a half, I've been getting into Afrobeats. I love Afrobeats. You know him, Wizkid, DML, and just like an assortment of sometimes Spotify gives me like an Afrobeats mix, and I listen to the Afrobeats mix, and I just pick certain Afrobeat songs that I like. I have a bunch of Afrobeat songs that I like, and there's like a bunch. But Burna Boy was the first one, right? The first song that I liked was Yay by Burna Boy, and then there's a good album. It had a couple of songs. It was a great album, I believe. Let me double check the album. Shout out to my boy Burna Boy.
There is some great music that comes out of Africa.
Yeah. So the album is Outside was the album with Ye. Love Damani, I think that's his real name, Love Damani. There's Glory, Last, Solid, For Your Hand. He's he's a global superstar, and I'm a big fan of Afrobeats. And then his new album, I told them. That's the album. That's the song City Boys is off, and I'm a big fan of him. Where it's like, where he starts out saying like, I used to think I was an ugly youth, but I was never ugly youth. I'm a sexy youth, you understand? And it's a great song that I like.
Nice.
Yeah. A lot of I want to become more international. And then this song became, I'm a big fan of Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I like Will Smith. But I love the Fresh Prince a little bit more. The Fresh Prince, I'm making the delineation between Will Smith and the Fresh Prince is Will Smith is the actor. Will Smith is the guy who rapped Miami. Will Smith is the guy who rapped Get Jiggy With It. You know what I mean? That's who Will Smith is. The Fresh Prince was the guy who rapped Summertime, Boom, Shake the Room, Parents Don't Understand. But there was a minute where it was like, what's your favorite Will Smith track? I saw it was on Twitter. Adelia was on Twitter. And I saw Matthew Cherry tweet this song. It's DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. It's I'm looking for the one to, and then parentheses, to be with me. It's a great song. I love it. It's been in my rotation constantly. It just shows that you can make good feel good party rap music, because that's what rap music was in the beginning of rap music. People wanted to party, so they made rap music to party and have fun. You can use rap music for other avenues, like to tell a story, to tell a message, like The Message by Grandmaster Jay and the Furious Five. Mm-hmm. But you can also make rap music for partying, having a good time, putting it, you out in the backyard, you barbecuing, you got yourself in my case, a non-alcoholic mimosa, which is just orange juice. But we're gonna go with non-alcoholic mimosa. But like all the other homies have non-alcoholic mimosas. Shout out to William Harrell. Will Smith didn't have to cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do, so fuck him and fuck you too. Yeah, you know what? Shout out to Marshall Mathers, Eminem. But yeah, he didn't. You can play his music around children and around older people who don't like the cussing. So there's that. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of that song.
All right, nice.
All right.
Next song.
The next song is McFadden and Whitehead. Ain't No Stopping Us Now. It's a 70s funk song. McFadden and Whitehead were a part of the stable of Hush and Gamble, who created 70s funk Philly, and they had their own record. I think it was Philadelphia International Records, where they curated and created a sound from Philadelphia that permeated through America. And Ain't No Stopping Us Now, man. I love that song so much. Ain't no stopping us now. So I can't go more because of the record. So I'm a big fan of that. And growing up, this was the music I listened to growing up. Adelia, funk, Motown, 70s, 80s, I disco. Also as well as the disco. Shout out to Donna Summer. I should have had some Donna Summer on here, or some disco music.
I should have put Donna Summer's Daughters group on my list somewhere.
Yeah, I should put the Bee Gees. Love the Bee Gees. That's my guy.
We're gonna have to do another music episode and just talk about like all the old music we used to listen to when we were younger.
You know what? We should do part 2. So Ain't No Stopping Us Now is pretty good. But then the next song is shout out to Sade, Kiss of Life. She just warms my heart, my soul. When she sings and I listen to it, I just feel a calmness goes over me. I just feel relaxed. I'm listening to Sade and I'm like, oh my God, I love you. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sade Abdul. Fun fact, when I was learning English and I saw her name, I looked at her name and I was like, okay, now I know how to say her name. And for years, I kept calling her Sade. I was like, yo, that's Sade. Love Sade. Sade is the homie. And then one day I called her Sade. And an older gentleman was like, who's Sade? I was like, Sade, the one who sings Smooth Operator. And he was like, do you mean Sade? I'm like, what? It's like, that's her name, Ferris. It's like, how is that her name? The A makes the A sound because the A is before the E. It's SADE because new English speaker being taught English was like
that's what they teach
Sade.
you.
Like that's Sade, but it's Sade Abdul because she's from England. Okay, she's from England. So shout out to you, Sade. I'm sorry that I called you Sade all my life until that fateful day in junior year of high school, and she became Sade forever. All right, and then the fourth song, I believe, no, the fifth song I had on the record is I love every time I hear Leon Bridges, I just sit and listen to him. I don't seek him out. I don't know why I just don't seek him out. But when I heard River, I think River was on a show, and I just love that song. And it I want to show my full range. You know what I mean? We got some Afro beats, we got some rap music, we got some funk 70s McFadden and Whitehead, got some Sade, pop star stuff. And Leon Bridges, you know what I mean? That folk part of me, that likes folk music. It's just him and a guitar. Just him and a guitar. And that's it. All right. I also found out I'm a big fan of Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey got some hits. Mariah Carey is a bop maker, a hit creator, and a stone cold fox. Shout out to you, Mariah Carey. All right. And then lastly, I added three songs by this group because this group is actually in our thumbnail. I wanted them to be last. Is the Temptations.
Great group.
One of my favorite R&B groups of all time. They're not a boy band because they don't dance. They're not a boy band because they don't dance.
That's the Open Table rule.
That's the rule. If you don't dance, you're not a boy band. All right, New Edition. One Direction. You're not a boy band. All right, you're just some dudes singing. So shout out to you. So they are an R&B group, one of the first groups of Motown's hits. It's them, the Supremes, then it became Diana Ross and the Supremes. There's the Ronettes. So the Temptations are one of my favorite bands. Get Ready was a great song that I love. One of their underrated songs, I don't think people talk about it a lot, is Just My Imagination Running Away With Me. I love that song. I love that song myself.
So good.
Love it. Mariah Carey got a historic forehead. You damn right. So it's a forehead that produces hits. A brain for the hits. And lastly, I think, like I said, I'm okay with long songs. One of the very first ever long songs I ever listened to, Papa Was a Rolling Stone. That baby is 11 minutes and 35 seconds. Yep. I have a special connection with the Temptations because the Temptations Broadway show that made it to Broadway started at the Berkeley Rep Theater. They did their shows there early on, and I saw it. I saw the show. I saw the show live. So I was entering this. They're very special to me because I was in this scholarship program. Shout out to my counselor Len, love you. One of the things this scholarship program gave me is a mentor, someone who can help me out. That's not a teacher. That's not a counselor for academics. It's not a family member, right? Someone detached who can give you career advice, to be a friend, to help you guide through life, right? Show you professional skills and all that jazz. His name was Peter. Early on, I was like, I don't need a mentor. I'm Ferris. I don't need that nonsense. I can do this by myself. So I ignored him for like a couple of weeks. And I was kind of terse with him. I was like, yeah, whatever. I always found an excuse not to hang out with him. And then one day he says, hey man, I want to hang out with you. Let's have fun. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's hang out. He's like, all right, cool, man. Let's go see a show. I'm like, what? Yeah, let's go see a show. I was like, what do you mean a show? A Broadway show. Let's go see a Broadway show. Like a play. Let's go see a play. Like a musical. Let's go see a musical. Like an on-play musical. And I'm like, what the hell is this weirdo? What? Let's go see a musical play. I was like, and he's like, oh yeah, man, the Temptations are doing their autobiographical musical play in the Berkeley Rep. You want to go? And I was like, in my brain, I was like, say no. But then Adelia, my default setting was, fuck it, let's try it. So I said, sure, let's do it. So then that night, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna get into, right? I don't know. I'm not gonna have a fun time with this dude. I'm just gonna do it to tell Lynn that I tried to make it work and it just didn't work, right? I was looking for it to fail. That's what I was. I was looking for it to fail. So I was like, I don't need a mentor. I don't need this nonsense. He swings by, he picks me up from work. I'm dressed in my good blues. I wear a collared shirt because you're going to the play, Adelia. You gotta dress this. Yeah. So I wore a collared shirt. He said, "Oh, let's go have dinner first." I'm like, "Bro, what dinner before?" It's like dinner and a show. So yeah, sure. All right, dude. My wife's joining us. Shout out to his wife, Ann. Love you, girl. Love Ann. I had dinner with her a couple months ago. Actually, she just came. She was coming back from Hawaii. She's a lighting expert, Adelia. Shout out to you, Ann. They're probably never gonna watch this, but
Shout them out anyways.
I'm shout you out. Shout out to you, Ann. Shout out to you, Peter. Love them. They live only about 30 minutes or 45 minutes from me, without traffic. I should really get my license and then I can visit them more often. But back to the story. So we go to this nice little restaurant. We're sitting at a bar. We're sitting at like a bar thing. We get ceviche. We get some sandwiches. I got me a non-alcoholic beverage in a fancy glass. We're talking about life, having fun. And I'm like, what is going on right now? I'm having a good time. I'm loving this. And then it's time to leave to go watch the show. And baby, that Temptation show was off the hook. That was the day where I was like, you know what, Peter? I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I went full Casablanca on him. I would put my hand around him, but he's way taller than me, and it couldn't work. But yeah. I metaphorically did that. You know what I mean? So the Temptations have a special place in my heart because without them, I wouldn't have my mentor Peter, and he means a lot to me. I love Peter, man. I love the guy.
Nice.
We have dinner once. We have lunch once in a while, probably 2-3 times a month. We swing by. We get either some Brazilian cafe or some pizza. There's this pizza joint we go to. Man, it's wild. It's a wild pizza joint. Like, let's say that some of these pizza joints. Let's just say this. Paul DiNuzio, New Yorkers would blow their brains out. I had eaten butternut squash on a pizza. You ever had butternut squash on a pizza, Adelia?
No.
I thought in my life I would never ever have butternut squash on a pizza, but I tried it once. Damn good. It's damn good. So shout out to the Temptations. Shout out to the Temptations. Shout out to David Ruffin. Shout out to Otis. Is it Otis Thorpe? I think it's Otis Thorpe. Or is it Otis Redman?
I don't know their names.
I don't. Yeah. You know what? Let me. What's the first rendition of the Temptations?
I don't know. Ferris, you would have loved this radio station that we had when I was a kid. I believe it still exists in Denver. It's called Cool 105. And now it plays 80s and 90s music, which is a travesty. Because this used to be the best radio station to listen to oldies music on. It would play 50s and 60s and early 70s music when I was a kid. And this is where I heard the Temptations and the Ronettes and they would have these, like, I forget when it was exactly, like what night of the week or time or anything like that. But they would do like Motown Hour and it'd be nothing but Motown music for an hour. Yeah. And that's my favorite radio station of all time is Cool 105 back in the day. Not now. Yeah. Not this 80s and 90s music shit that they're doing now. Not that there's bad 80s and 90s music, but like, give me my oldies back. Yeah. I don't want to think about the fact that the 80s and 90s are the oldies now.
The original group was David Ruffin, Otis Williams. Otis Thorpe is an NBA basketball player. Okay. Paul Williams, Melvin Franklin, and Eddie Kendricks.
All right.
God rest for those 5 members' souls because Otis Williams is still alive with us.
All right. Shout out to them. The Temptations, fantastic group. Also,
shout out to Dennis.
William Harold says Paul just woke up in a cold sweat when you said butternut squash on pizza.
Yeah. Shout out to Dennis Edwards and Ollie Woodson. So I believe they were also part of the group as well. Yeah, there's been a lot of reiterations of them. I think the original group was Ruffin, Melvin, Otis, Eddie Kendricks, and Paul Williams. Those were the originals. Those were the originals. Yeah. Then Dennis Edwards replaced Ruffin in '68. Yeah. And then and then the departure led in '71. They added Richard Street, Damian Harris, Ron Tyson, and Ollie Woodson. Yeah, so
okay.
But shout out to the original members: David, Melvin, Otis, Eddie, and Paul.
Okay. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
Temptations were phenomenal.
Yeah, they're amazing. Adelia, we've gone an hour and 50. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Adelia.
What?
It's like this is gonna go 40 minutes, 30 minutes. we ain't gonna talk music.
Guys, it's us. When does anything go short?
Never. You know what I mean? A great man once said, "I'm a 60-minute man." Eat your heart out, Ric Flair. I can go 75.
Please don't mention that man on a show ever again.
Okay, good point. All right, good point. All right, Adelia, where can people find you, Adelia?
You can find me at Adelia Chambo on Twitter or X or whatever the app is called this month. I find it very funny that Elon Musk insists that the app be called X and then did that lovely interview thing the other day. It was not lovely at all, but I don't know why I said lovely. And continually called it Twitter, which cracked me up.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me there. You can find me on the Highlights channel every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific for Starting 11, our English Premier League recap show. Snark and I will be back on this upcoming Tuesday. And then on this upcoming Thursday, we will have another episode of the Rewatchers Council, our Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch series. Hopefully Ferris will be able to join us because he's been unable to the last couple of weeks, and he's missed a couple of really great episodes.
Yes, I have. But yeah. Guys, thank you so much, man. I'm at Ferris Muthana on Twitter. You know, I'm here every Friday, 3:00 Pacific, 6:00 Eastern on our sports channel. Me and Caleb talk NFC East. We talk American football, our Giants, Cowboys, and then also here, man, on our entertainment channel. You'll see me on certain reviews. I'm coming out with a review a little bit later because I saw a screening of the Iron Claw.
I want to talk about it. Your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk more about that, as well as 8:00 Pacific every Friday. The Open Table.
Yep. Don't know what we're talking about next week, but we'll talk about it. Also, want to say that I'm gonna put the links to all the songs that we talked about in this episode in the description, so you can find them there.
Exactly. So everyone, have a wonderful day. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.